paint a Reproduction white crappie. Now, a lot of this stuff I already trimmed it out with scissors. Just trimming like this. And went all the way around. And I also trimmed out these 2 pelvics and 1 pectoral fin. Now, a lot of companies, they don't put wood inside their Reproductions. I think they're all supposed to. Put your piece of wood in and use some expanding foam or something to get it to stay in there. Glue it real good with Bondo. A lot of different things you can do. I'll show you that later. So basically, it's holding by the hole, the screw hole, because there's no piece of wood in the back. But as far as Dremeling, I just use a regular little small drill bit that fits my Dremel tool and it works fine. Because the flashing is usually thinner and comes right off. Except for the mouth, that's going to be a little rough. It's a must to have some kind of thing to protect your lungs from getting this dust down in them. Fiberglass repair, anything like that, you need it. And you also need a good fan, kind of keep air circulating. You kind of get the idea. 2 by 1.5. About 2. And 1.5. Right there. And right there. Try to center it in the fish, maybe a little bit towards the front. You know, you don't want to be back behind the tail. And you just trace him out. There you go. Now we just cut this out. Put the wood piece in it. We glue it in. We'll Bondo it. Now all we gotta do is install the fins. Almost a good fit. Down just a hair bit more. Sure it's good enough. Yeah, look at that. Perfect fit. I'm going to go ahead and hot glue this in. You can use Bondo, either one. While my glue gun is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and trim on my other fin juncture places. They're almost directly under where the pectoral fins are, but actually just a hair bit behind, so about right here. I'll just give you a little hot glue and put it in there and make sure it's enough. It definitely don't take much. And don't worry if there's some minor gaps, because you can use epoxy sculpt, or heck, even latex caulk or something to fix it. Just make sure the angle of your fins is the way you like them, and leave it there until the glue dries. And you can even Dremel these gills out. And I'm debating to do it. I've got some old gills from like old mounts where I've cut heads off of old fish. And I saved the gills. But you can also go to like Hobby Lobby or Walmart. It's like fuzz on a wire and it's red. And you can smooth it down, I think with like maybe Mod Podge or something. And make gills out of it. If you want sharp corners, you know, where your fins join the body, like in this corner, you can get like a hacksaw. You can get those hacksaws too, you know, the partial ones that are real handy for this. I just don't have any. You know, it's the hacksaw. I mean, you can get a hacksaw blade that's got a handle. But you get what's going on. So that makes a good little fin juncture. A good small Dremel tool, which they make those too. Epoxy sculpt is quicker because it doesn't shrink that much. And if you like really had to paint in a hurry, smoothing out where we glued it to the body to make it look more natural. Spray it with a little water. Make sure it gets good and wet on there. And then make it look like a smooth juncture area. Make it look as natural as possible. Looks good to me. These other fins where they're connected. There we are. Make it look like a natural connection. And the eye needs a lot of help. Get a little water on your finger if you need be, and kind of give it a good start. Probably put way too much really, but it comes off. Put just enough. Don't put any more than you need, that's for sure. Just clean that eye up real good and get ready for painting. There you have it. that tuck under the gill flap, those gill rakers, the gill rays, I guess is the right word. But we're going to go ahead and install some gills. Okay, now I got some gills, and I've already kind of sized them up and used a little Sharpie pen to see where I'm going to cut them. Yep, got this right here, and kind of sized it to fit a little bit. Just snip that off, and the thick part off. There's still a little bit of skin holding these gills together that's on past that. So I just take that off. This is the part I use, and then I just glue it in. There we are, and then we just kind of tuck them up in there. Make sure they're in there nice and good. Further than that even. Yeah, they got to go in there pretty dang far. You can come out a little bit there. More up there. That's perfect. Well, I ended up gluing the gills. Had a little bit of a tough time with it, so I kind of put them in. Then I dropped glue down through the mouth down into them and then let the glue dry, and then it's holding them in. But the gills aren't really supposed to like stick out real far anyway. It's supposed to be something you see when you look behind the gill flap. And so that's pretty much what I replicated with the gills. I'm going to try to dress up the empty spot that's behind the gills. Going to fix up a little damage that I've done to where the fins connect to the body using a little bit more of the caulk. Epoxy coat would probably be better, but caulk will work. You just have to wait for it to dry, for a good while. Where it was hollow when I cut the gills out, there was like an empty spot back there. Well, what I did to correct that was, after I put the gills in, I put some glue in there. Shot some from the top, some from the bottom, a lot. And then I held the fish up like this. I held the fish up like this. Let the glue kind of run around. And it rebuilt what was cut out when I tried to, put some gills in the fish. Although it's clear looking, when it gets painted, it'll show that it's all flush again like it was before. Just using glue, hot glue, and letting it dry while I'm turning it for a little while. Not long either. Well, if you have a problem with some of the mold release on there, it's a little bit of warm water, maybe just some warm water, soapy water maybe. And that mold release comes right off. Now I just got to let a few things dry on it, like some of the caulking I put on it, and it'll be ready to paint.